Hello, my friends, and welcome to Thriving Thursdays with Alexandria Nicole. I am your host, and I'm super excited to be here today with Alexus Rae Lopez. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm ecstatic to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. So, tell us a little bit about your relationship with chronic pain and how you came to be an advocate in that space.
Oh, girl, how much time you got? Because we're going to be here for a while. No, I'm just kidding. I can keep this short. We're here. So, my journey with chronic pain has really just come about because of accidents. It happens to all of us. I was in a life-changing car accident in 2021 that left me with my sixth concussion. So, after that, really nothing in my life had gone back to normal. I went on short-term disability. My career changed because I needed to pivot towards something that now matched what I was doing or having to deal with in my health. And I recovered from the accident, but it was about a year and I don't know, a couple months and change, 15 months or so, when I had a massive regression of symptoms that was caused by a migraine spell. And since then, I have been dealing with ongoing symptoms on a daily basis. So I have to manage my energy, I have to manage my migraines. Before I was on the medication regimen and the bodywork treatment that I was able to create in order to get my life somewhat back to normal, I was having migraines anywhere from 10, 12 days a month, upwards of like 20. So it became completely debilitating. But prior to my accident experience, the other experiences I have had with chronic health were weird digestion problems. I had a year of kidney infections that landed me in the hospital. And then again, just my ongoing history of concussion. So all in all, a lot of life experience rolled up into what do we do? How do we handle it when our health basically goes off the rails, but the rest of our life keeps going and rolling? We don't have a choice, right? It keeps happening. And learning how to adapt, learning how to adopt new techniques that allow you to manage your life, allow you to master yourself and the balances in every area of your life has really become my passion and just an utmost, I think, necessity for all of us that are living with health conditions, and also being able to be a voice for each one of us. Like, talking about our health, talking about the things that are hard, talking about not feeling well isn't easy. It's vulnerable, it can be scary, and just wanting to not feel so alone myself was one of the reasons that I started sharing on social media. And then once I started hearing from other people, I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. I found these communities. So long story long, that's how we've gotten here.
It's funny you say that you have this apprehension to share, because I had that same course with the things that I struggle with health wise. So I was diagnosed with pulmonary sarcoidosis, and I didn't tell anybody about it. There would be times where I would just be out from the count. I would hide it from my team. Only my family knew my presence online. I wasn't open with it because I had this weird relationship with it, right? Like, I was ashamed of it for a while. I felt like it would make me look weak. And so, especially, you and I we're both, in the construction realm, right? That's where we came from. So we're already having to balance our leadership roles with construction in a male dominated space, right? So the last thing you want to do is throw something on top of it that you may perceive will give you not so much of an edge, but contribute to making you look weak. So you feel like you have to hide it, right? But I don't know what happened. I don't know what shifted, what pivoted for me, but I just got tired of hiding it. And I started to share my story. And I also have a degenerative disc disease. So all last week when I was shooting, I was miserable. But I actually showed up because I owe it to you guys to be here. I owe it to myself. I'm the type of person, I just can't do it. I can't call it even when I know I need to. I believe in my own ability for ingenuity. But the first guest that I had when I was experiencing the pain and I was walking with a walker and my husband was helping me around, the guest that I interviewed was a breast cancer survivor. So I said, I'm going to get up, I'm going to put my makeup on, I'm going to scooch to where I need to scooch to, and I'm going to film.
Yeah.
Right? But I
Yeah.
was candid on camera with the struggle that I was experiencing. I'm here and I'm smiling and I'm present, but guess what? I'm also in excruciating pain right now.
Exactly, because we have to overcome those things just to be able to show up in our everyday life. And that's another hurdle that we're having to jump. It's another mountain we're having to climb. And first and foremost, I'm totally like you. When I can push through,
Yeah.
normally I will do that, right? Like
Yeah.
I so deeply resonated. You're like, I still have to show up. I still have to do these things. And for me, after the last car accident, at that point in time in my career, I was the business manager of a pretty large roofing distribution company. And when the accident happened, it was such a shift for me because I couldn't push through. Like I said, I have a history of concussions, right? And my body completely shut down. And even now with my chronic migraine condition, I'll get to the point where it's just like, when you unplug something and the screen just, or a computer or a TV, right? It sometimes goes black to the middle, like it fades out.
Yeah.
That's what it's like when my body starts to shut down. And I truly believe that the universe has given me both this blessing and a curse because it knows that I wouldn't stop. And so it has to pace me because I cannot pace myself.
Yes.
But
Yes.
where I'm actually going through with this, what I'm trying to get to, what I want to share with you is being in construction, being from the mindset. And I don't think that it's just construction because truthfully, if we look around the world, we know every industry is a male-dominated industry, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Plus, as women, we're carrying the backpacks on our backs of most of the time. Now, I'm not going to generalize because there are some men out there that help with housework, they help with the kids, they help with all those things, but it's not uncommon for women like ourselves to have more on their plate than a partner or a different family member, right? The responsibilities that we're carrying are heavier. And then you add on the fact that you're trying to show up in your career, you're trying to overcome these ladders, you're trying to break through glass ceilings. And on top of it, let's sprinkle some health issues. So there comes a point where truthfully, and this is where I had to get with the accident afterwards to just say, I can't. Like, it's not that I'm not willing. It's that I physically am not able. Yes. And when we make that shift, it gives you permission to say, like, I can function and I don't have to be in pain. I don't have to be waking up hating my life every day. Like that misery that we get used to living in, we forget that that's not how it has to be. So wanting to empower others to say, I can put my health as the top priority. And actually, when I do that, I see better results in every other area of my life.
Yes.
It's a gift.
You have to, that is so true. You have to give yourself the space and the grace to heal and recuperate and do the things that you need to do. I think something that I struggled with at the beginning was being perceived while I was going through or sarcoidal flare up or my back going out or whatever. I think a lot of times I would push through from the fear of being perceived less than. Like, nothing's wrong with Alexandra. She's just lazy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's not just the perception from other people, it's the perception that we have of ourselves, right? So this is something that I like to call restful rest. When you can give yourself an afternoon off, when you can give yourself a permission to take a nap and not feel guilty about it. Everything you are supposed to do is going to get done eventually, whether it happens tomorrow, even though that's not when you planned on it happening. That's the thing that we have to remember of our own high achieving self, our own self expectations of I can show kindness and understanding and compassion to myself the same way I would to my team member who comes to me and tells me they don't feel well today. Why don't I deserve that just as much?
Oh, that's so good. To internalize the caring, the kindness and the caring that we exhibit to other people, we have to also show that to ourselves. That's so good. So, what challenges when you were coming up with your business, because now your focus is chronic pain, right? How do you help people? How do you come alongside them with their challenges?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that question because it is such an individual journey. So,
Mm.
because of my experience of going from completely debilitated to getting the aspects of my life back that I have now and what I hope to continue to create in the future, what you said is completely right. Anyone that I work with, I'm meeting them where they are. So, we're going to take a picture, we're going to take a survey of where they're at. If they're at the point where their health is still completely debilitating, we're going to figure out how to manage that mentally and emotionally, how to make sure they can find the right care team members to support them in that. Once we get our nervous system calmed down, once we get out of the state that we're only thinking about our flare ups with our symptoms, then we can take a step back, get the perspective on the rest of our life. What do I want my quality of life to look like?
Mm.
I don't want to say despite, but overcoming or with, in addition to handling this condition or this diagnosis. I would say truthfully, like that was one of the things I struggled with the most is realizing like I'm still the same person, even though my body doesn't function or respond the way that I wanted to. So that
Oh,
adaptation, that learning how to operate and excel within the circumstances that we have and that we can't control is really where we can thrive in our quality of life with conditions.
oh my goodness, Alexis. That just triggered something in me because it made me realize that that's something that I also struggled with is I would think of myself in terms of before my diagnosis and after.
Yeah.
And like the Alexandria that I was, when I would do X, Y, Z, and I wouldn't be winded, I wouldn't be tired, I wouldn't have to sit down, and my back wouldn't hurt, and I can pick my daughter up and toss her, my oldest daughter, when you know what I mean. You compare your life to how you operated before versus after, and then you look at it almost like you're two individuals, right? And you long for that person prior to whatever that point was, that shift. But there has to become like this settling in, no, I have to move this way now. I have to do these things to be healthy. I have to eat these things to, keep inflammation at bay. I have to take care of myself in a different way. And you're not a lesser version of the person you were before. You're still that same person. You just have to move through life a little differently, a little more careful and intentional with the things that you do, the way your body moves, the way that you even think, because you can get into this self-loathing state of mind if you stay too much in that comparison state. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people feel like comparison is the thief of joy, and they think of it in terms of you comparing your life to someone else's. But in this case, you are comparing your own life to your current life to the life that you lived before. That's so good. Still a comparison being a thief of joy. You have to be cognizant of that. Your mind going to that place.
Yes. And in addition to the comparison, right, I was able to do this then and I can't now, but my expectation of myself can adjust too. So the
Mm,
expectation then, okay, I'm mad at myself because I can't perform at the same level that I used to. Well, I
yeah.
need to adjust my expectation. Again, not because
Mm,
I don't want to, the willingness is there, but the ability is just an acknowledgement. And I don't want to make this sound like it's easy. I don't want to make this sound like, I have this all figured out because it is a journey and it is something that takes time. I have friends from the brain injury community that have been struggling with their situations longer than I have, or I'm extremely fortunate to have recovered to the point that I can be high functioning again. Um, but the piece to say for yourself, you're worthy of a good quality of life right now, just
mm,
as worthy as you were before your diagnosis, just as worthy as you were before your accident. Your worth has not changed. and your quality can come back.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good. And we have got to take a break. But oh my goodness, this is so good. You guys wait right there. We will be back in just a few seconds. So good. Wow. Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. But I wanted to take a second and introduce you guys to our newest sponsor. They are the Harvester of Healing. They are a holistic well-being brand. So they are a grief recovery specialist, and they help you navigate through life's losses beyond conventional medicine. Okay, they are committed to the survivors through a program called Assist. They help you explore energy healing and spiritual services and wellness products. They also have a 15-acre sustainable farm on Hip Camp for a very unique experience. So if you are interested in receiving some healing and harmonizing your body and your mind and your spirit, I highly recommend that you check out Harvester of Healing. You can find them at harvesterofhealing.com. Now back to the show. Thank you for watching. All right, my friends. Thank you so much to our sponsors over at Harvester of Healing. Now, Alexus, tell us about some ways that you have figured out how to move beyond the person that you were and embracing the person that you are.
Whew. Honestly, I'm going to say that crying, journaling, and talking out loud have been some of the most therapeutic healing things, but that's not everyone's game plan, right? So let me take it from another approach here. But you mentioned earlier the things that you have to do for your own symptoms, right? You have to eat right to try and keep inflammation down. I'm assuming or guessing maybe you take a supplement regimen or a medication regimen. The first things that we have to do when we're trying to accept and adapt and adopt inside our new bodies, our new lifestyle, is figure out what do we have to do to make sure our body has what it needs to perform. So really looking at, first and foremost, are you getting the food you need? Are you getting the water you need? Do you have the right supplements? Do you have the right medications? That's something that I can guide people through, but obviously, we tap into the care team. We tap into the experts that are beyond the overall picture. And that's the place that you start first. The biggest thing when we're trying to take care of ourselves in this way, we're not used to having to put our body as the number one priority, right? And even though we think it's easy to take supplements, even though we think we're drinking water, holding ourselves accountable to those types of small actions every single day doesn't always come easy. It's not always natural, and it's a new adaptation. So I help the people that I work with through accountability, through conversation, through being able to see how we're doing with these small actions every single day, start building the positive momentum as far as how they're feeling, and then we're able to, again, start addressing the other buckets of their life.
Oh, that's good. So you help people with every aspect of their healing, right? So you help them with overcome it mentally. You help them understand what it is that they need to do for the physical attributes too, because it's very emotional, isn't it? It's very emotional, especially at the beginning. It's a lot to unpack.
It is so much to unpack, and the process, I think, is all encompassing. I was going to say well-being. There's a term right now, whole health is really starting to become, whole health is really starting to kind of be this up and coming term that people are using, right? We can't separate our career selves from our personal lives because truly we're the same person in both places. And so that's the approach that I take of like, this one small thing over here is probably going to affect me way over here. So backing up a little bit and taking it one piece at a time. I'm a big believer in we got to crawl, we got to walk, and then we can run.
That's so good. So what do you do to stay motivated and to remain consistent and resilient in these type of circumstances when you're also battling with your own chronic pain? And it sounds like, if I'm hearing you correctly, that you deal with it daily, right? That it's not a type of situation where you have a flare up and then you don't hear about it or feel it or deal with it for 6 months. Yours is daily. So
Yeah.
what are you doing to stay motivated?
I like to compare it to spinning a roulette wheel. Like, I really don't always know what it's going to be like when I wake up, and it's brought me to a different type of mindfulness, right? I can try and plan ahead of time, but truly I live my life like 24 hours at a time.
Yeah.
And as far as motivation goes, the things and suggestions I would make would be getting things written down or into some type of tool that allows you to track your work, track your progress, so that when you do have a flare up or you need to step away, either it's going to be there when you come back and you haven't missed anything or forgotten anything, or if you have a team member that you're working with, or if you're an employee, then someone else like your boss or manager might be able to pick up where you left off, and you can manage those handoffs. So making sure that you have a good system to keep yourself organized and outside of your own brain, so that when your body shuts down, you have support there. The other thing that I'm definitely going to stay on the track of is just the restful rest and learning how to pace ourselves. So it's this little saying of, we got to pace, not push. And know that each day you're doing something a little bit more or maybe a little bit slower, and eventually you're still going to get there. But that allows you to sustain more than going super hard right out of the bat, flaring up your symptoms, then you're down and out for a couple of days, and then we feel like we got to start this cycle all over again.
Restful rest and pace, not push. That's so good. I went to like this women's workshop, and a girl said something. She said, I was talking about combating this urge to be constantly productive. And even when I am intentional about being restful, I end up still creating. Like, I just can't shut it off. I'm at the point now where I have to turn on the TV and listen to a book or watch a show to just like turn it off, because I'm constantly in this space of like creating new ideas. And she said to me, she said, rest is productive.
Yep.
And I know I'd heard that concept 1,000 times before, but just those 3 words, the way she put it, was so life-changing to me, because I had, in a way, I think, associated rest with a waste of time.
Yep.
Right. But if I change my relationship with rest, and I think rest is productive. I need to rest and take care of myself in order to show up as my best self, as a mom, as a wife, as, as a consultant, all the things that I have going on, all the hats. I still need to be restful. I can't show up 70% across all boards, right? And I'm just like, that is fantastic. So allowing ourselves to rest, I think a lot like you do. Like, I think that a lot of the things I deal with my body is, if I didn't have something stop me, then I would consistently go.
Yeah. And I am with you. Like, okay, when the accident first happened, I was like, great, I'm going to read all these books. I'm going to get caught up on all these things that I need to do. My body, like I said, had a very different plan, because I couldn't even read like some days, literally, or taking out the trash was like all I could do. And then I had to crawl back into bed. So
Yeah.
developing that relationship with rest, like you said, you can't pour from an empty tank. Or sometimes I like to think of it like our body is our dream vehicle, right? If you could close your eyes and think of the perfect car that you could have, whether it was a, I don't know, Lamborghini all the way to a Range Rover, like, take your pick. But I'd have to tell you that this is the only vehicle you get for the rest of your life.
That's right.
How do you think you're going to treat it? Probably pretty well. And I guarantee that you're going to be getting the tires rotated consistently. I know you're going to be getting that oil changed, and you for sure filling it up with premium gas. So our bodies are exactly like that. You only have one, and how you treat it, the way you talk to it, the way you slide into the sea every day, right? All of that treatment adds up to your body functioning in favor for you.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good. My goodness. So in this stage of your life and with your experience, how do you qualify, or how do you identify success? What does that look like for you now? Because I feel like your perspective has changed, right?
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm only laughing because this has been such a journey. Like, what does success mean? I actually host a podcast with my mom, and we did an episode on this. And her definition of success and my definition of success were so different. Also, my definition of success now compared to way back in the day was like so night and day.
Yeah.
Thank you for this question. And
Absolutely.
truthfully, I would say that my success is when I don't have a migraine, and like when I can have a chain of days where I have a decent enough energy level that I can do the things that I want to do. Basically, when I have a level performance, and that includes resting. I host a weekly accountability group for other female entrepreneurs or just women in their career that are looking to have additional support and accountability in their life. And it is not uncommon, Alexandria, for me to show up to that meeting once a week and be like, my win is that I took the weekend off.
Yes. Don't you find that in high achievers that we celebrate when we allow ourselves the space and grace to just be and not creating, not feel bound and compelled to be accomplishing something? We had to, okay, my executive producer talking to me. I have evaluated my life, and I now celebrate just being.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much time and energy that you put into cultivating an entrepreneurial spirit, mindset, overcoming obstacles, thinking on your feet, being on a job site and thinking of a solution in real time, executing it with your team. All of these moving parts where your mind is you become hardwired. You build up to that point, and then you are there. You become hardwired to produce. So now I'm at the point where I did nothing today. It used to be, I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to watch the clothes. I'm going to catch up these invoices. I'm going to watch like an hour and a half of a Hallmark movie, and then I'm going to rest. And that'll be my nothing. And that's still a laundry list of things you are signing up for yourself to do.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Yes, it's so true. And there's no comparison for when you can grant yourself the gift of enough compassion, enough love, enough empathy. We're doing this for our body, not just because our body needs it, but because we respect the fact that this is our boundary. We respect the fact that we do love ourselves enough to give ourselves rest. We respect the fact that we do believe we're worthy enough, we have done enough, and that I don't have to have a bunch of checks on the calendar, the day planner, whatever, in order to still be worthy at the end of the day.
Yes, and I love that you actually have like a freebie on your website, right? For people that are experiencing health issues, you have something for them to check out, or a resource. So tell us a little bit about that freebie you have.
Yeah, sure. So I developed this freebie shortly after my own symptom regression in the car accident. It's to help anyone who's going through a recent change in their health. How do you reprioritize? What do? You don't even really know where to go or what to do. So I came up with this as a way to help those and hopefully give back a little bit.
I love that. Now, guys, if you are experiencing any health issues, you can find this freebie at www.alexusrae.com for that freebie. Okay, check that out. Go to her website, learn all about her and how she can help you on your health journey. If that is somewhere you are in your journey of life and health and chronic pain, or any pain, needing any emotional support, needing accountability, all the things. Alexus Rae is your girl. And I'm super excited that you are going to be closing out the prayer today. So, you guys, this is our prayer disclaimer. We close out each podcast with prayer to honor God for our abundance. And I feel so happy and blessed that Alexus is going to bless us with the prayer today. So go ahead and cut the music so we can honor God with our silence. Are you ready, Alexus?
All right, we're ready. I call God universe, just so you know, okay?
Okay.
Dear universe, thank you for this day. Today, I ask for patience. Please remind me that I am doing the things to be this version of myself and that I am already the person I want to be. Please remind me that everything I am meant to do today will get done and any tasks remaining will be completed at the right time. Please shift my fearful thoughts of not doing enough, of not having enough, and not being enough towards loving energy. I give you my fear and I open my heart to love. I welcome loving and encouraging thoughts and ideas into my life and choose to believe them. Please let me experience the miracle of your day. I accept the beauty within me as who I really am. I am not my fear. I am not my limiting beliefs, and I am not my old selves. I am much, much more, and I am willing to be reminded of who I truly am. My desire, my priority is inner peace. I want the experience of love. I don't know what will bring this to me, and I leave the results of my life situations in your hands. I surrender to your knowing, and I put my trust in your good, orderly direction, and I ask that you use me for your purpose. If today I create in accordance with your intention and in such an observable way that you see my energy, please give me a sign so that I may be encouraged to do it again. Thank you for all of your blessings in my beautiful life and our new friends. All my love and gratitude, I surrender to you. Amen.
Amen. Oh my gosh, Alexis, that was beautiful. Oh,
Thank
you
you.
blessed my life. And I hope that you have blessed the lives of our listeners for years to come, the people that will connect with you and connect with this message. This was amazing. Continue to usher on in this space. It's important. And I can see it being something wildly successful for you because it is a conversation that shied away from, right? We are embarrassed by our circumstance. We do compare ourselves, our current selves, to our prior selves, before our accidents or before our diagnoses. And sometimes we go it alone. So I am so happy that you're in this position and you're so wonderful. You're so beautiful. You're so delightful. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Be blessed. Bye.